who has been a colleague, friend, and mentor now going on 20 years. He grew up in the beautiful Upper Peninsula of Michigan in the Belgian farming community of St. Nicholas. He's been a professor of history here at Western since 1962, the year of my birth. He remains very popular in the classroom and remains an active researcher, having published 11 books, including The Gunnison Country. He graduated with a bachelor's degree from Northern Michigan University and an MA and Ed.D. from Oklahoma State University. He was a legendary cross-country and track coach here from 1971 to 2007, winning 12 national championships, 8 for men, 4 for women, and this produced 4 Olympic runners, including Elva Dreyer, who we heard about earlier. This resulted in him being inducted into the NCAA National Hall of Fame as a cross-country coach. He's also in the Western State Colorado University Sports Hall of Fame and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan Hall of Fame. I might add that he has done this before, as he was commencement speaker for Western in 1975 and 1985. So we're very grateful that he agreed to come here and talk to us today. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Duane Vandenbusche. Yeah!
Thank you very much, Bill, and welcome to everybody. 50 years ago, one of America's greatest historians, David Lavender, stood high above Telluride with one of the great anthropologists, Theodore Kreiber, who wrote about Ishi, the last surviving Native American in California. They had both grown up near Telluride in the beautiful San Miguel Valley in the San Juan Mountains many years before. As she gazed upon the beautiful landscape, Theodore Kreiber recalled, "In that thin, dry air, life moved at a pace of almost terrible intensity. There were no neutral moments. The galloping brevity of spring and summer, the long months of winter with the threat of tragedy always hovering near. Colors were high, the reds in the soil, the fall gold of the aspen, the indescribable sky. Riding in summer and tobogganing in winter were fast and dangerous. The heights of the mountains and the depths of the canyons were beyond the human norm. One went about totally sensitized. No wonder recovery for the elders was a trip to the coast, and for a youngster, introversion. Get on your horse and ride until you looked out and down, tremendously out and down. God was a pagan god, in the air, over the mountains, in the waterfalls. But how can I give the feeling tone of my childhood in that high alpine valley, which is simply one of the most beautiful spots in the world? Today we feel exactly the same about the Gunnison Country and the beautiful Elk Mountains we live in. When I think about Western State and the wonderful Gunnison Country, I'm reminded about a friend of mine who graduated from Iowa University in 1962 with a business degree. His first job was that of a traveling salesman, and being very religious, he went to church to pray for a good career. And while he was in church, he noticed that there was a golden telephone on the altar. And after the church service was over, he came up to the pastor and he said, "What's the golden telephone all about?" And the pastor said, "That is the hotline to God." And my friend said, "How much does it cost to make a call like that?" And the pastor said, $10,000. And my friend didn't have the money. 54 years he was a traveling salesman, went to all 50 states, including Hawaii and Alaska, small towns, big cities, and last Sunday he came to Gunnison, retired, and he went to the St. Peter's Church, and he saw that golden telephone on the altar, and after Mass he went up to the priest and he said, "You know, I've been around the United States, every village, every state. I never had $10,000 to make that call on the hotline to God. And the priest looked at my friend and he said, $10,000 is only 25 cents here. And my friend said, how come it costs $10,000 everywhere else in the nation and only 25 cents in the Gunnison country? And the priest said, because in the Gunnison country, my son, it's only a local call. Graduates of 2016, today you're about to pass an important milestone in your lives in a fast-changing world of the unknown. We ask that you show the self-sacrifice and the dedication needed to make our country and world a better place in which to live. We ask that you honor the old values, sometimes considered outmoded by some people in today's generation: honor, discipline, family, and duty. What are the great lessons and values of history that you graduates should try to incorporate into your lives to meet future challenges? First, discipline in your lives, in your jobs, and with your children. All great men and women have had discipline. Without it, there is no order or freedom, only war and conflict. Secondly, acceptance of change. There is an old saying that everything changes except change. That is always here. At the height of the Roman Empire, when victorious armies returned to cheering crowds, the Roman generals hired scribes to run alongside their chariots and whisper in their ears that fame is a fleeting thing. Nothing stays the same forever. Number three, the pursuit of excellence. The great Montreal Canadian hockey player Maurice the Rocket Richard put it best when they asked him when he passed away what he would like to have on his grave marker. And Richard said, "Put in my grave marker that some days were good days and some days were bad days, but there was never any day that I didn't try my best." Do your best every day and in everything you do, and you'll live a great life. And also keep in mind the great philosopher Immanuel Kant's statement that there are truths of the heart that are greater than truths of the mind. Number four, be industrious. Thomas Edison once said that great achievements come from 2% inspiration and 98% perspiration. Sweat and hard work never hurt anybody. And have no excuses, no BMWs, no bitching, moaning, or whining. Number five, be humble. An old Hollywood saying states, be good to everybody on the way up because you're going to meet them all on the way down. One of the great minds was Isaac Newton. The law of gravity, the reflecting telescope, and the invention of calculus, something I couldn't even do. When asked how he saw himself one day, Isaac Newton said, "I see myself as a little boy walking along a beach, now and then picking up a pretty stone while the vast ocean of unexplored knowledge lies in front of me." Isaac Newton knew that there was much more to learn. When I was a cross-country coach, I had only 3 rules for my team: be a great person, a great student, and a great athlete, in that order. Being a great person is the most important thing in life. Number 6, realize that little things mean a lot. Joni James' song of the 1950s still resonates today. Throw me a kiss from across the room. Tell me I look nice when I'm not. In all kinds of weather, forever and ever, little things mean a lot. Do the little things well, and the big things will take care of themselves. Number 7, have goals and dreams and follow your passion. The great writer Willa Cather, the end is nothing, the journey is all. Robert Service, in the spell of the Yukon, wrote about a miner who had hit a great gold strike in the Yukon, but found the gold wasn't everything. And he recalled, "I wanted the gold and I sought it. I scrabbled and mucked like a slave. Was it famine or scurvy, I fought it. I hurled my youth into a grave. I wanted the gold and I got it. Came out with a fortune last fall. But somehow life's not what I thought it. And somehow the gold isn't all." The miner had gone to Seattle, drank a lot of whiskey, gambled, and finally lost all of his money. And yet he was glad that he was broke. And as he returned to the Yukon, he declared, "There's gold and it's haunting and haunting. It's luring me on as of old. Yet it isn't the gold that I'm wanting so much as just finding the gold." He yearned for the challenge, the chase, the next frontier. And that ought to be the desire of all you graduates. Never be satisfied. About 40 years ago, the President of the United States, Gerald Ford, stood right on this stage honoring our 4th District Congressman Wayne Aspinall from the western slope of Colorado. And he declared, "They say that education costs a lot, but ignorance costs a lot more." I would like to honor all the teachers and the professors here today, underpaid and underappreciated for the tremendous job that they have done and are doing to educate our children. As all of you now go out into the field and start your careers, you'll be at the bottom and have to work your way up. And as I think about your futures, I'm reminded of a great song that my generation grew up with. Once upon a time there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two and laugh and while away the hours and think of all the great things we would do. Those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'd pick the life we'd choose. We thought we'd never lose, for we were young and sure to have our way. And if you work hard, always do your best, and be a great person, you will have your way and live a great life. I hope that all of you will treasure your days at Western and the Gunnison country. The words of Eugene Field in his great poem, Casey's Table D'Hote, should echo in your ears. Oh, them days on Red Hoss Mountain, when the skies was fair and blue, when the money flowed like liquor, and the folks was brave and true, when the nights was crisp and balmy, and the camp was all astir, with the joints all throwed wide open, and no sheriff to demur. Oh, them days on Red Hoss Mountain, in the Rockies far away, there's no such place nor times like them as I can find today. And finally, I leave you with a legendary Irish farewell. May the trail rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The snow fall soft on the mountains around you. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. All of you will now join that long line of Crimson and Slate graduates of over 100 years. Thank you. Good luck to you all. And let the big red machine roll.
Okay. It's tradition for us at this point